Welcome everyone to the Fireside Football Chat, episode 6. He's Jay, I'm Chip, and we're back to talk football, pick some games, and hopefully have a little fun. I gotta say one thing, Jay. Buster Poindexter was thinking about you when he was singing Hot, 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 because you're so hot, and I'm glad to see it. We might not even need that fire. How do you feel, Jay? I mean, you look at you. You're wearing shorts and a T-shirt. It's getting a little chilly out here.
Am I glowing?
Yes, you are. Good for you.
No, you know what, Chip? We're happy. You know, the last 2 weeks, 8-0. We understand that. Here's what I hope. I hope that some of you out there were able to take advantage of that. I mentioned this last week. Maybe put a little greenery in that wallet of yours, right? And if you haven't jumped aboard, maybe consider jumping aboard. Maybe not. Your call. All right, but I'm a guy that goes with the streaks. There's some that go against. Currently being 8-0, I would hope that you would want to ride the streak. But again, that's their choice.
Hey.
We've been saying it all along. It's their choice.
You mean business?
Yep, I mean business. We mean business. We're doing the best that we can, and you know, maybe some of this luck, maybe some of it not. It happens to be on my side at this time. But we're going to keep on rolling one way or another, brother.
Keep running. I mean, I was glad, to be honest with you, based on our conversation last week, and you're in the back of my head telling me, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, wait a sec here. But anyway, I was glad to crawl back to just be even.
That's right. Even
though it's not how I thought my even would be. But guess what? It was cool. I mean, there's a couple things like, it's so hard to pick games.
Oh.
We know this, right?
There's no denying that.
And to be 8-0, which is awesome. But here's what we're up against. Any chance you paid attention to that Oregon-Michigan State game?
Slightly.
Score was 31-7.
What happened?
Michigan State was getting 22.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, I do know what that final score was.
But but exactly. So you know what the final score. Here's my question, and this is what we're up against. With 25 seconds left, and it's 4th down, and you're within striking distance, even though you can't win the game, you're not kicking a field goal. Why would you kick the field goal there? To cover the spread. And the thing is, if you're on the right side of the ball, which we didn't pick either, obviously, that game. But still, that's what we're up against. And that field goal should have never happened.
No.
Just to make your alumni happy? Come on.
Yeah, bad. And Chip, I was listening to a podcast this week, and they mentioned, and I think it was a different game than that. I think it was a different one. Same scenario. The team is getting blown out. I forget who it was.
It wasn't the Troy State game, was it?
Who was it?
Because I heard something about a Troy State game where all of a sudden I don't know if I didn't get a chance to research it, where I don't know if they were kneeling, and all of a sudden they threw a touchdown just so they could cover the spread. Something along those lines.
This game, and I'm going to have to look it up, and hopefully I can bring it back up next week.
Sure.
But it was similar to what happened in the Michigan State game, where the team, I don't think it was that game. I think it was a different one. The team was getting blown out. That's why I think it was a bigger differential, like a much bigger differential, which makes me think it was a different game.
Yeah, right.
Same thing.
Why?
The end of the game, right? They're driving down, 4th down. I forget what it was, 4th and whatever. They kick a field goal.
Exactly.
They kick a field goal to get whatever it was, 13 points. I mean, it was minimal compared to the other side, but bizarro land. To your point, this is what we're up against. And it's the truth.
Especially, but going back to you saying, jump on your streak and everything, you could, these sites, you can do a little as $5 if you want to. So you can have a little fun.
That's right.
Get those butterflies going.
It's just, it's a little action, right? A little action. You need a little action in there.
Can you imagine sitting on this side of the ball? Temple, UConn. Now, obviously, we're poking around looking for different things with football.
Yep.
And this thing kind of jumped out at me, which made me research, which made me go in to see the plays. And the person that wrote this article was wrong about the spread. But needless to say, I'll tell you the situation. Temple is down, I think, first of all, they were getting 17.5 points going in.
17.5.
Okay. Yeah, where the guy in the article said they were getting 3.5 because they were down by 3. They're at the end of the game. So he thought they were going to go in and cover, but they were already covered because they were down by 3.
Slightly off.
Okay, but anyway, they tried the brotherly shove, and the only thing that could have hurt their chances of not winning the game would be a turnover for a touchdown. Guess what happened?
No.
Yes, it did.
I didn't follow that.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
just
God.
happened to see that. And can you imagine if you already had a cover, you're trying to win the game and that comes in? So
brutal.
No, I got you. So I mean that's what I kind of saw in college this week. I saw some big upsets, I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, there were. They always say in college football, when you think it's going to be a so-so week or a down week in terms of matchups, that's when it's usually at its best.
Yep, absolutely.
And last week was no different.
Uh-huh.
I mean, listen, out of the 4 games that I picked last week, we did have what I would consider to be 2 head-on-the-pillow games, which, as we talked about last week, is not the norm.
Icing on the cake.
If you're lucky enough or fortunate enough to go, 4-0, we said last week, maybe you get one of them. But it turned out Wisconsin, that 52-6, slaughtering of Purdue. And Washington at home against the Browns in the NFL that game was over before you knew it.
I still can't believe it.
It was kind of like we talked
Yeah.
about. The Browns, I would say, right now, they're in a similar position as what we referenced the Dolphins.
Yep.
The old driveway reference.
They can't.
They cannot
They
get
can't
out
get
of
off
the
their front porch.
No. They're not even strolling out the front door.
No.
But I do want to say something where I was wrong. It turned out that I covered, but I also want to give this team credit because Northwestern, I said they stunk last week.
You said it 3 or 4 times.
They no longer stink.
Oh, okay.
They have worked their way out of stink category. I got to give them credit.
Good for you.
This game, Chip, the Indiana was minus 13.5 at Northwestern. With 11 and change to go in the game, Northwestern was within 3 points. Indiana goes down, scores. Then Northwestern turns the ball over. Indiana scores again and covers. But Northwestern,
Makes your cheeks get a little tight.
Hey, Northwestern, you no longer stink. Okay, at least for this week.
Good for you to say that.
Yep. So, any goofy things in the NFL or anything like that you saw?
Oh.
Or are we gonna wait to get to that point?
I'll give a couple. I just want to, I was just glad to even going back to college of having the A&M game. That was a put your head on the pillow. It made me feel good. Like, hey, guess what? Things that I do see that don't look right make sense.
Your strategy worked there.
Exactly.
Absolutely worked. We both shaked our head at that one. Like, whoa, that strategy.
Absolutely.
Before, I saw it come up. I was at the Penn State game. I saw it come up on the ribbon, and it just kept going higher and higher and higher. And it was absolutely, as Chip just referenced, that was a head on the pillow.
Yes, it was.
No doubt.
It's almost like a birdie was like in my ear telling me that. But anyway, so it was one of those games I was glad to come in, especially the way I was struggling. But you ask about the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, are the Giants good?
God.
Or, going into last week, are the Giants good?
No.
Okay, they stink, right? They're horrible.
They would have gone into my stink category.
The stink pot,
the stink pot, he calls it. Okay.
Well, okay.
I like it.
So how do the Giants go to Seattle, right? Without Singletary, without Neighbors, another rookie that would probably be in the mix, with Jaden Daniels, right? And beat Seattle. How did they do that? And I thought I was, again, talking about picks, I was confident that was going to be a good one. I had them in my pool, and I was like, how does this happen? I just don't understand it.
Idea. A team that stinks, right? They in the stink pot. You don't do the triple time zone voyage and come out on top.
Without 2 of your studs. I don't get it.
It made no sense to
me. I
me.
just don't get it. And the other one, I just, with my picks, like the Cincinnati pick, I was confident, and I was confident doing it because they were up the whole game.
Yep.
And they had a chance to win it with a set it and forget it field goal at the end. And guess what happened? They didn't do it, and they were getting 2.5, and they lost by 3. So, but I was right there. See, that was okay. But that's all I'm going to say because my next thought would be backed by one of my picks this week. So,
okay, here we go.
So we'll get to the pros when we do that. So whenever you're ready to hear my college coming in.
Oh, I'm more than ready.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's hear it, brother.
What was one of those upsets last week?
Oh.
Vanderbilt.
Scaling the 12-foot wall.
I didn't see that coming.
Students scaling the 12-foot wall.
I mean, Vandy's tough, but I didn't see that coming.
So nobody did.
So I'm going with.
Except for the Vandy fans.
Well, yeah. So I'm going to go with the age-old, like we say, old-school strategy. I didn't even look at the schedule, but I'm taking whoever's playing Alabama this week. It happens to be the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I really am. The line's 21. It's probably not even going to come into play. If it is, I'd be surprised. You know how it works.
I've seen it.
You know how it works.
I've seen it.
Now, going in and losing to Vanderbilt probably would have never happened under Nick Saban, but you never know. But he would never let them come back. Are they going to keep that baton going with that?
I don't know. We don't know. That was that loss was of epic proportion. I know one thing. And it's not fair because it's such a small sample size. But that was one thing that Saban was really good at. Remember, he always uses the rat poison reference, which was when players started reading their clippings and smelling themselves. Mm-hmm. And he did a really good job, particularly after wins or big wins, to make sure that he kept that team grounded. You know as well as I do, there's a pretty good chance that Alabama team was sniffing themselves last week.
Well, it was a big game. I mean, they were up 28-0, as I've referenced because I had Georgia. But so, yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't think this is a put your head on a pillow. I think don't even watch the game. Don't even look at the score until after it's over.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah,
and I usually don't get cut, but I just, you always got to go with the next week.
I understand your logic for sure. So tell us, what was that line again?
21.
21? And you're going to take who?
Alabama.
Going with Alabama.
Alabama. That's right. The spread should not even come into play. But we'll see.
You go back to Greenbow, Alabama.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So here we go, Jay. It's time for you to keep the bus rolling.
I sure hope so, Chip. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to start with Tennessee minus 14.5 at home against Florida. Big number, I know. However, you notice this is piggybacking off of what you did, right?
I looked at that game for that reason. Yep.
Tennessee lays an egg against Arkansas, gets upset. They're smelling themselves and goes and gets upset. They come home. They're at home against Florida, and they are irate. I mean, this team is going to be angry. They've got the one loss. They know everything's in front of them, but they know they gave one away there. Believe you me, they are ready to have themselves some gator. They're ready to have themselves some gator. So, why, Jay? Well, Tennessee's rushing offense is 14th in the country at 5.5 yards per carry. Florida's rushing defense is 76th in the country, giving up 4.4 yards per carry. On the flip side, Tennessee's rushing defense, numero uno, number one in the nation, giving up a paltry 1.9 yards per carry. Florida's rushing offense, 55th in the nation. Not awful, right? 55th in the nation at 4.5 yards per carry. I think that they're going to run into a buzzsaw. And I think that they're basically going to dare Florida to throw the football. Dare them. They have a game manager, but that guy, their quarterback, has thrown a few picks. Let's just call it his day. He's thrown a few interceptions. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a few more. Tennessee, they do have to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive, because I'm not so sure a two-loss Tennessee team is going to hold up against either a two-loss Georgia, two-loss Alabama, maybe a two-loss, say, Ole Miss. I'm not sure if they're going to hold up against them. So this is a must-win. Now, I understand we need more than win. We need to cover, but I think they're going to be hungry.
I thought that the line was going to be higher, Jay, like around 17. Not that I'm a line expert or anything. I just thought it would, and I was like, wow, because I first originally saw it at 14.5, and of course it, when it first came out, but I was like, 14. That looks appetizing.
Seem a little low to you? All right.
Not low, but appetizing.
14.5 is baiting you, right?
Yeah.
We know about that hook. We referenced that hook before.
The good old hook.
So, gang, hammer the Vols at minus 14.5 at home versus Florida. Next game. The Ohio State Buckeyes, minus 3.5 at Oregon. Okay. Now, here's the thing, Chip. Oregon has improved. They have. However, they've shown a few cracks in the armor at times this year, particularly in the beginning of the season, but they've shown them. Okay. Whereas Ohio State, 0 cracks in the armor. Okay,
Solid.
0. I'm going to throw a few out here, with the stats. Ohio State is top 6 in the nation in the following offensive categories. We'll start with offense.
Wow.
Points per game, yards per game, points per play, yards per rush, and red zone scoring. I'm going to count. That sure looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to me. 6 offensive categories in the top 6.
That's a half a dozen.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. Top 5 in the nation in the following defensive categories. Opponent yards per game, first. Opponent points per game, first. Opponent points per play, second. Opponent yards per play, first. Opponent red zone scoring, 4th. Opponent yards per rush, 5th. Opponent yards per game, 3rd. And one more for the ditch, Chip. Sack percentage, numero uno.
Wow. Uh-oh.
This is a darn near flawless football team.
Well, if you give me special team stats, we might be able to get a Baker's dozen here.
Maybe.
I mean, come on, we're at 11, right?
As a matter of fact, they were way up there in the field goal percentage as well. So, Ohio
great.
State's armor is well intact, right? We know that for sure. I'd say, aside from home field and the triple time zone voyage, that might be a double. I'm sorry, potential double time zone voyage. There just aren't many spots where I can say advantage Ducks, right? At home.
That's the way you look at them.
And then Ohio State does have to travel. Right now, the door's open for Ohio State to hold the #1 ranking from now until the end of the regular season. I mean, really, you win this game, it's yours, and you might just coast the rest of the regular season if you win your games. Now, they're going to have a tough one coming up against my Nittany Lions, but we'll talk about that at another time.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing, that they are, and trust me when I tell you, the Skunk Bears, right, the Michigan Wolverines, winning the national championship last year, sickened Ohio State. I mean, sickened them. And they have their sights set on that trophy, that championship trophy. And believe me when I tell you, this will be a statement game for the Buckeyes.
Uh-oh. Statement.
Yeah.
Statement.
Sit back and enjoy, folks. I know most people don't think this way. Again, I've been listening to different podcasts, doing my reading, my research. I think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be an easy one. -3.5. I think this is going to be a double-digit victory.
Okay.
No problem. So, my last game for college. I know this bit me one time in the NFL. However, I can't resist, Chip. I can't resist. Illinois -18.5 at home against the lowly Boilermakers of Purdue. Okay, first of all, the Illini's coming off a bye where they're stewing over that Penn State loss, right? They're going to be out to pounce Purdue. I honestly, even in the Penn State game, and it's not that they scored a lot of points, but I have to tell you that, and I said this going in, I'm impressed with their quarterback. I'm impressed with their receivers. And their defense isn't half bad either, quite honestly. The Boilermakers, they still stink. Okay, they stink.
In the stink pot for good.
They had a chance to work their way out of the stink pot with the rest of the crabs. Okay, however, last week 52-6 thrashing they took at the hands of Wisconsin. They're still in the stink pot. Purdue, they're no better. This stat's gonna blow you away. They're no better than 115th in the nation in 13, count them, 13 offensive categories. No better than 115th in the nation. That's horrific. Okay?
Somebody better call Drew Brees up.
Well, at the very least. You want defense? Well, you're not getting it from the Boilermakers, Chip. Okay, here we go.
I love this.
How about no better than 120th in the nation in 10 defensive categories? I mean,
Wow.
Yo, they stink. Okay, now there was one ranking, Chip, that stood out. The number was significantly lower than the others. So I'm going to throw this at you. Okay, little question for you. Any idea how this heinous squad managed to get themselves ranked 18th in opponents' pass attempts per game? Let's think about this. Let's think about it for a minute. They worked their way all the way down to 18th in the nation in opponents' pass attempts per game. Any idea why that would be so good for them, or to spin it around, why teams wouldn't be throwing much on Purdue?
They must be a sieve running the ball.
That is correct.
Turnstiles.
That's absolutely right. You're not pulling anything by my compadre, Chip. Okay. Teams were up so darn big, so fast against the Boilermakers, they simply didn't need to pass, right? I'll throw a little shade in my team's way, but that must feel like the second half Penn State D versus Michigan last year, when I think the Wolverines only threw 2 passes the entire second half and won the game. The only difference, Purdue's defense happened to be fortunate enough to experience this glorious scenario every single time they step on the field.
Wow.
Sans the first game of the season where they won big against Indiana State.
Wow.
So Illinois minus 18 at half, minus 18 and a half at home against Purdue. Any idea what that rhymes with, Chip?
Say it again.
Illinois minus 18 and a half at home versus Purdue. Any idea what that may rhyme with?
Well, it doesn't rhyme with stink, I can tell you right
Does
now.
not rhyme with stink. However, what it does rhyme with is stone cold lock. Boom! Okay, lock it up, Chip. Illinois in a landslide.
I was waiting for it.
Well, there you have it.
I was waiting.
So they're my college picks.
Love it.
I'll spin on over to the pros, the NFL.
I can't wait till you break down your analysis on this one.
Chip, you know you're my compadre,
That's
right?
okay.
You know you're my compadre.
That's okay.
But you know I always do my research, and I do the best that I can to produce the picks with my head, sans any biases. Is that a fair statement on my part?
Why wouldn't you? It's the way to do it, right? I see where you're going. It's okay.
This may not be your liking.
That's all right. I
friend,
looked at it too.
But I am taking the Detroit Lions at -3 on the road against the Cowboys.
Coming off a bye.
Yes.
I looked at it.
I just don't love the situation for the Cowboys, and I love the situation for the Lions. Now, the boys, they wouldn't dare attempt to enjoy the sense of their loins after squeaking by the Giants and the Steelers the last 2 weeks now, would they? I sure hope not, because here comes the well-rested Lions off a bye, as you mentioned, and they are ready to pounce the Cowboys.
You think it's going to be a pouncing? Do you?
I do, and it's nothing more than one team who has
an edge.
I would say, but Dallas has. They've kind of squeaked by. Listen, a win's a win in the NFL. It is very hard to do, right? Andy Reid said that years ago. It's hard to win in the NFL.
Oh, without a doubt.
And it is. And I give them credit. They won. I just think because they faced two teams that are nothing like the monster that's coming.
No, I agree. I looked at it and I was like,
I just don't love the matchup, Chip. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I'm going with the Lions -3 over the Cowboys.
It's a good one. No, it's a good. I looked at it. Unless I need a game, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to, because then you're going to root. But that's fine. I'm not going to be stupid about it. But it's absolutely coming off a bye. I look for that.
It's in my mind, it's a tough matchup. We'll see how it plays out.
Great.
So with that being said, on to Chip's NFL picks here.
I'm ready.
Here you go.
Time to talk a little pros. And guess what? I brought it back.
Oh, he's got the magic 8
it was
ball.
fun. It was fun. People enjoyed
Keep it moving.
People enjoyed it. I got a little tidbit about that somebody told me about. But, and I'll say that when I'm getting ready to use it.
All right.
But I have to say this. Sam Darnold did not beat me, okay? I don't know if you were on your way back from Happy Valley and saw it. Sam Darnold did not beat me. I know I went to the well, and I happened to be in a vehicle on Saturday, and radio was on, and I heard a expert. He does this for a living.
Okay, the expert.
And he was all over the Jets in London, and I was like, it made me feel good based upon my previous 2 weeks of, being in the stink pot, so I'm trying to do it right. So I felt good about that. And then, shortly after that, the Aggies, things were going well.
Yep.
But Sam Darnold beat me. Aaron Rodgers beat me. Him not being on the same page, him throwing 3 picks, including that pick 6, and they still almost had a chance at the end. So I didn't get technically I probably got Charlie Brown. But guess what? He can't beat me this week. There's no way. I guarantee it. There's no way he can. I guarantee it. I would bet my life on it.
Yeah, I would too.
Why? Because guess what? Minnesota's got to buy. Because I always look at coming back from London too, and I was looking at the Jets, and I kind of still don't understand that one, but they have a lot of turmoil going on there. So
lost head coach, right?
They lost the head coach, kind of in weirdly fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something going on between him and Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why all of a sudden he decided to go into the offense room. I don't get that. He's a defensive guy. It just doesn't make sense to me why he would do that. But, hey, so I kind of stayed away. I don't like to get too entrenched sometimes, but Sam Darnold will not beat me.
He's not going to beat you. Not this week.
So, my pick last week, I had Cincinnati. I was so confident. I think Baltimore's pretty good. I really do. They're pretty good. I mean, they haven't done anything crazy.
Of course, pretty good is almost any team in the NFL from week to week. But yes, they have some weapons on their team. They prove they can win some football games, yes.
So, with the Commanders, the Redskins, Washington, blowing everybody's doors in, right? Catching everybody off guard. And they're going into Baltimore getting 6.5. Who wouldn't jump on that, Jay?
Oh, my God. How about it?
But it's not this guy, Jay.
No, not him.
No. I looked at that and say, why is Baltimore giving Washington 6.5? And, Baltimore's been playing, they beat the Cowboys, squeaked that one. They really haven't played anybody really good. But, Dallas was supposed to be good. But Cincinnati was supposed to be good, but they're horrible. Not horrible, but they're not steady. Nobody's steady.
Man,
exactly
getting beaten up.
But It's too easy to take Washington plus 6.5.
I know it is.
So I have to take Baltimore.
It's why I went away from it, Chip. I was thinking about that as my NFL pick. I said, no.
It jumped.
Don't get greedy, brother. Careful.
Well,
Careful with that game.
I'm a rebel. He's not. It's okay.
So in that one, tell me again, you like Washington or you like Cincinnati?
Baltimore. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
What, from last week?
No. You said
Baltimore's playing Washington. Baltimore's giving them 6.5.
Baltimore's playing
Baltimore's Washington.
Okay.
What I'm saying, that's
you.
how, yeah, and I'm looking at it, it's like, Baltimore's okay. I mean, they do have weapons. A lot of teams do have weapons.
The Redskins beat Cincinnati, 2 weeks ago
They
or whatever
beat
it was.
them, then they go beat Arizona, and then who they beat? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
And then they
They're
throttled the Browns.
And the
my
Browns,
goodness.
there you go. So I'm like,
You can't get out of the driveway Browns or the front porch. As you
Yeah,
mentioned.
right. So I have to take Baltimore because they don't deserve to give them 6.5. I'm going to get back to that one.
Well, we're going to spin back around.
To that logic.
Okay.
Because I want to save the best for hopefully some friends.
Hey, I'm interested.
You know what I mean?
I'm interested.
Bo Nix saved me last week. Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, the legend himself.
I still can't figure that one out. I don't look at them and say, hey, they're a good team. I don't look at them and say, hey, they have weapons. The only thing I think of them is I like Sean Payton.
They have a good defense.
And they have a good defense. They do. I'm talking about
pretty good defense, but I get your point.
We need to score points.
You got to score points, and I think to your point, like weapons, they're without weapons, but they're winning football games.
Goes back to Tim Tebow area, 12-10 when he was around.
Right.
So
good old Timmy Teabag.
So if they're so great and they've been on a winning streak, why are they getting points at home this week? But I'm going to go with the bye logic. The bye logic is the Chargers are coming off a bye, and you know that Harbaugh, he's jumping out of his seat. He doesn't know what to do. What can he do coming out of a bye? He's got it. So he's going to have them ready to rip them up.
Chip, they had to put a seatbelt on him for the last week.
Exactly.
He was probably at the stadium that they're playing at 2 days ago, waiting around for them.
He reminds me of the kind of guy. What did Herb?
Kurt Herbstreit?
No, Herb from the Eagles, the coach. Why can't I think of his name? Climbing the fence to get in. When he was in Kansas City or something, something happened with his game. Jim Harbaugh is the kind of guy that would climb a fence to get in.
Yeah, for sure.
Played for the Eagles. Why can't I think of his name?
That guy loves football.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, I'm taking the Chargers coming off a bye. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And then now, for my last pick, I'm going to hopefully, what I think is some of our viewers going to make them happy, because I am going with the Birds. However, they're playing Cleveland. Cleveland is in the stink pot. However, who are the Eagles to give 8.5 points?
When I saw that line, I'm like, what?
Seriously.
Okay.
And I talked to our Mr. Monday Night about this. I said, I said to him, I said, look at that line. I said, who are the Eagles to give 8.5? I know Cleveland's bad, but I said, it doesn't work to seem like that. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Birds, make everyone happy that watches it, knowing that I'm going to keep the Philly thing going on. I got my Phillies for trying to get some mojo for the Phillies.
Right,
we have to beat them, Mets. You know, I know I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm also a diehard Philly fan.
That's correct.
So trying to get the mojo. Hopefully, I give them some. They give me some back. So now we're going to bring it out.
There she is.
And see where it goes.
Oh, Bessie.
Because, like I said, the Eagles minus 8.5. I can't. The line's telling me something there, and it should be. Eagles back at home. After a bye, another bye thing.
Chip, I would say that it's going to be another team that comes out and throws all over the Eagles' defense, but the Browns flat out struggle to throw the football and drive the football down the field. They really do.
250 guaranteed millions.
How about
And
it?
you can't escape it.
Oh, my goodness.
His
that
legs
guy.
can't even escape it, Jay.
No. They're in a pickle.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with them Eagles minus 8.5.
All right.
And we're going to see what the 8 ball
See what
says.
our friend says
But I'm
here.
going to start with the first pick. Now, one of our viewers, I didn't have an 8 ball when I was a kid. That was, everybody had 8 ball. I knew what they were. I might have saw one time.
Yep.
I don't know.
You were at a party,
Yeah,
right? When
whatever,
you're playing the 8 ball, right?
So I was shaking it around last week because I didn't want to make sure I
really?
got this in. I was shaking it, doing all
right.
it's like that.
All right.
It's like,
Yeah,
no,
shaking
that's
the
not
8
how you
ball.
got to do
All right.
it. That's not how you do it. You got to massage it and then flip it over. So I want to start with the.
No, there was a strategy.
The 8 ball strategy.
Process.
I'm going to have to get the leather jacket that Putty had as the 8 ball. Anyway, we'll start with this. So we're going to massage it like I was told.
Right.
I pay attention and I listen. So we got Baltimore minus 6.5 over Washington. What do we see there? You know what's funny? That ring light is blinding me.
It was a funny angle. You gonna get out the bifocals?
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna
the
get it.
flashlight. All right. What do we got?
It is decidedly so.
Ooh, there it is.
That light, man, I can't also
There it
see
is.
his rings around.
There's one win.
There we go. There we go. It agrees on that one. We're going to massage it again. Here we come. Okay, we have the Chargers coming off the bye, minus 3 over Denver. Will they come off the bye and do a little spanking?
Oh boy. What do we got?
Ask again later.
Oh.
So we'll go to the next
All
book
right,
and we'll come
skip
back
that.
to that.
We'll
It's
come
telling
back.
me maybe it's going to marinate on
back.
that one for a little bit. Now for the hometown crowd. Eagles minus 8.5 against the Stink Pot Browns.
Stink pot. Filthy
There
Browns.
comes our Brown. There
Oh,
comes our
the
Brown
filthy
Stink Pot.
Browns. Oh,
So
boy.
minus 8.5. What do we think? For all you Bird fans, it says yes.
Yes, sir.
2 for 2 again, I'll tell you.
Birds
All
fans
right.
are fired up. That's
Try
for sure.
again later on the Chargers going into Denver. Coming off the bye. Let's flip her
Fighting
over.
Harbaughs. What do we
That's
got?
right. It is decidedly so. So there you have it. Looks like, once again, Jay, the 8 ball
Oh, my
agrees with me.
God.
It does, the good old 8 ball. So there
This
we
thing's
have
on
it.
fire. Hopefully this thing's on fire.
Hopefully it's on fire, because I feel like I'm coming thinking about it. But I did talk to some people that are like, I can't believe it. Because in my pool, the reason why this was easy for me to do is I am in last place, I think about 50 guys. And I was told that this morning. It was shown to me, ha, ha, he. I get it. It is what it is. I'm going to still keep doing that. And with that being said, Jay, I think I have an idea where he is. But we're back to the, well, we got him coming out of a different audio this time. Picture, but wonder where he is. Mr. Monday Night, here he comes.
This is Mr. Monday Night. The winds are picking up here down on the beach, getting ready for Milton. If Mr. Monday Night is late out of the gate, just remember, I make up for it in the air. So I was stunned those Saints didn't cover. The ball went right through the receiver's hands on that same play that Carr got hurt. Daniel Bromowitz in the good old days would have never dropped it. This week, the Jets are getting 2.5 at home against Buffalo. No reason to pick the Jets, right? Mr. Monday Night says wrong. The interim coach is a defensive mind, which means he will utilize the running game, and the Jets have weapons in the running game. So they will keep Josh Allen off the field, and I even say he'll throw his first pick of the season. Take the home dog Jets and double down. And there you have it. Your lead pipe cinch. These top picks are brought to you by Cinch Propane. Extend your time outside in this beautiful fall weather and have your propane heaters delivered by Cinch Propane. Like Mr. Monday Night, there is Cinch.
Okay, Jay, episode 6 complete. There we do it again. And
right,
I'll tell
brother.
you, this puts a smile on my face every week. It's just something to kind of forget about life for a while, come do our thing.
It's a ton of fun. It's
Absolutely.
a ton of fun. Hopefully we can keep rolling here.
We
right?
are. Hopefully you keep rolling.
Hopefully.
Buster Poindexter, hot,
Let's
hot,
go.
hot. Make
Let's
sure when you
go.
get in one of those lines at a wedding or something. You know what I mean?
Let's keep it rolling, bro.
Absolutely.
One way or another, we're going to have fun. One
That's
way or
right.
another, we enjoy doing it. But let's keep it rolling.
That's right.
Take
that's
advantage.
right.
If you haven't jumped on board yet out there, folks, jump on board. Give it a shot.
Exactly. We'll all have fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.